Namaste, everybody. Thank you for joining. As always, namaste, everybody. Thank you for joining. As always, please practice according to your conditions. If you know the variations, you're welcome to do them. And if you feel comfortable with them, of course. But please respect your limitations and modify as you need to suit your abilities and your comfort level. So on that note, let's begin. Sitting up tall and straight. Close the eyes. Go inward. Let's begin with the sound of Om 3 times to attract divine attention. Imagine you are everywhere. Fix your mind on God alone. Rest your thoughts in God alone. May all beings everywhere be happy and free from suffering and enjoy this practice through our senses. May we always have a strong desire for the knowledge that liberates us from pain and suffering. And may we cherish no ill feelings against each other. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. So now let's do the mantra for purification. If you know it, you can do it along with me, of course. If not, just imagine you're singing it through the voice of the Guru, and you derive all the benefits of the purification of the space, the grounds, and all the psychic channels within, as though you were chanting it perfectly. 3 times, each time try to do it in a single breath, and try to do it loud enough so it can be heard by the subtle bodies within and all around us. Om pavitraha pavitra sawa vashtanga topi yaha smrit pandrikaksham sabaya bihantraha sjihi. Om pavitraha pavitra sawa vashtanga topi yaha smrit pandrikaksham sabaya bihantraha sjihi. Om pavitraha pavitra sawa vashtanga topi yaha smrit pandrikaksham sabaya bihantraha sjihi. So now let's do the main breathing, alternate nostril breathing with breath retention. So this brings us, the mind in a state of calm and tranquility. And the more calm the mind is, the more free from restlessness, the more craving-free the mind becomes. And as a result, these cravings lead often to attachments. Attachments ultimately lead to suffering. So it brings you ultimately to a state of, it's more conducive to finding bliss and to find contentment through this practice, through the practice of yoga. So, for alternate nostril breathing, we're going to use a rhythm of 3, 12, 6. 3 on the inhale, 12 on the breath retention, 6 on the exhale. For the inhale, you're inflating the lungs. Try to lift the chest as much as possible so that when you hold the breath, you just bring the chin down on the chest without hunching your back. So you want to keep the back very straight in order to allow the energy to flow out more efficiently up and down. And so for the breath retention as well, you're applying the throat in a root lock. Muladhara Bandha, you're just contracting the root muscles, pull them up towards the navel. Imagine you're lifting the whole pelvic floor up and pushing it right up and in. For the throat lock, as I said, the chin comes down on the chest with the chest high. You're also bringing the tongue to the roof of the mouth behind the teeth that seals up the lock. And then the attention's at the space between the eyebrows. The seat of divine perception is what we call it, Trikuti. And for the exhale, you try to breathe out slowly so that by the end of the 6 counts, you're completely empty. And then for the inhale again, you breathe in as much as you can. So you can last throughout the breath retention. So first we're going to start through the active nostril, hold the breath, then exhale out through the less active, inhale through the less active, hold the breath again, plug both sides of the nose on a breath retention, and then exhale out through the active side. For the fingers, the left hand in Jnana Mudra, second finger and thumb tips connected on the left knee, other 3 fingers straight. The right hand, second and third fingers fold down. This is Vishnu Mudra. When you turn a palm towards you, it's no longer Vishnu Mudra. This is the mudra we use for pranayama. We use the thumb always for the right nostril, the right ring finger for the left nostril. Remember, always a right hand. So I'll guide you through it and we'll do some together. So sit up tall and straight. Empty the lungs on the next exhale. Oh, I forgot to show the active nostril, I'm sorry. So you close off the right side first with the thumb, breathing in and out through the left side, and then close off the left side with the right ring finger, breathing in and out a few times through that side, see which side feels more open. My active side appears to be the right side, so I'll demonstrate with that side. So now, exhale, completely empty the lungs, sit up tall. Close off the less active side, inhale through the active. 3, hold the breath for 12, throat lock and root lock. 3, 4, 5, 6, attention at the space between the eyebrows. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Exhale out through the less active side. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale through the less active side. 3. Hold the breath, chin on the chest, third eye attention. 3, 4. Apply the throat and the root lock continuously. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Exhale out through the active side to complete the cycle. 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale through the active. 3. Hold the breath for 12. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Exhale out through the last active side. 2. Release the locks. 4, 5. Completely empty. 6. Inhale. 3. Hold the breath again. Everything stops. All the mind fluctuations, the body movements, and the emotions are completely still. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Exhale out through the active side. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale through the active for 3. Fill up as much as you can. Raise the chest. Hold for 12. 11, 12. Exhale out through the less active side. 2, 3. Push all the air out. 5, 6. Inhale through the less active side. Hold for 12. Exhale out through the active side. 4, 5, 6. Continue on your own. This breath leaves you in a calm state and free of cravings again. It frees the mind from restlessness. According to your condition, you can lengthen the count, you can slow down the count to make the breath retention longer. So ultimately you want to increase the capacity of your lungs by trying to hold the breath longer. Keep this steady, even count. If you start to lose your attention and your focus, be unconcerned. Just be like the witness watching a body doing the exercise. Just bring yourself back to it. Keep on trying to encourage the mind to cultivate concentration. To keep on trying, keep on practicing. Next time you exhale out of your active side, conclude. Don't shortchange the cycle. It's a very important practice as it leads you from the outward practice into the inner realms of the practice. It's through the concentration and meditation that you cultivate discernment that helps you to understand the nature of the true self. And the nature of the true self is ultimately what frees us from pain and suffering. Just fix your mind on the infinite now, the infinite being that resides within, which we call God. We can think of it any which way you feel that resonates with you, that brings you into that idea that we are infinite, immutable, stainless, boundless in our power and our potential. Through the practice, we recognize all beings as having that same divine essence within them, through the imitation of those beings, all the forms. So now let's begin the practice. Come to standing. So stand with your feet about 10 inches apart. We're going to start off with spiritual breathing to establish a deeper connection with the divine essence within. Bring the arms up over the head, the palms facing up. From the fingertips, inhale down through the arms and into the spiritual heart. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold the attention of the spiritual heart, located at the center of the chest and the right side of the physical heart. And then exhale out through the fingertips. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, pull in the best of the best, the universe, down into the spiritual heart. 2, 3, 4. Feel it coming, streaming in, all the way down in the arms into the spiritual heart. Then hold it in the spiritual heart, the residing place of God, that the Almighty Divine Essence. Exhale out through the arms, just the breath leaves, everything that you pulled in stays within. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One more time. Inhale, pull in everything that you need, pull in all the positive energy of the universe into the spiritual heart. Then hold it there as an offering for God. Hold the breath. Exhale out through the fingertips. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then bring the arms down, and we'll continue with the practice with some warm-ups to prepare the body for the practice. Imagine you're the witness watching the body move all by itself. So now start to swing from side to side. Allow the arms just slap against the body like heavy ropes. And then start to move the shoulders faster. Feel as though the arms are dead. Again, just pain the body any which way. The head flies from side to side. And then start to slow it down. Hands on the hips, circle the head. Large circles. If you can't do full circles because of your neck, just do half circles. But try to get your chin to the chest and the ears to the shoulders. And then the other way if you're doing full circles. Otherwise, you can start from one side and go backwards. Bring your head back so the back of the head touches the top of the back. Good. And now conclude. And then the right hand circles forward. Feel as though you had a weight in your right hand. Feeling it heavy, so it gives you more momentum to swing. And then change directions. And then the other way again. And then the other arm, left arm. And then circle the other way. Make as though you're winding up to throw a ball. And then forward again. And then the other way. Good. And then bring the arms up over the head. Take hold of the opposite elbows. Bend to your left. Then go to the right. Go to your left again. Stretch the right side of the body. Try not to make folds in the left side. And go to the right again. And then come up. Make little circles over the head. Mostly head, neck, and shoulders moving. But then add in the chest and the upper back. Make the circles gradually larger until you feel, if you can make large circles in front of the body now. Hinge at the hips. Trace large circles in front of the body like an airplane propeller. One more. Come all the way up. And then circle in the opposite direction. Starting off small again. And then start to get bigger with the circles, chest and the upper back. Good. And then, if you feel apt to do so, full circle of the trunk. And then come all the way up. And release the arms. Shake out the wrists, move the fingers very, very rapidly. Like you had no control over the hands, they're moving all by themselves. Then up and down like the wings of a hummingbird, so fast. They're moving so fast you can't even see them, they're like a blur. And then from here, release. Next one, arms out to the side. We're going to swing the right leg back and forth. If you need to, you can always bring your hand onto a wall or a chair if you like. Lean forward. Kick the leg up high, swing it back, so you can kick yourself in the head from behind. Always again, according to condition. This is nice for loosening up the hip. And then the other way, so you can just turn around or take your other hand to the wall. And then release. Now from here, raise the arms up over the head, turn the palms up towards the sky, inhale, lift up off the heels. And rock back down the heels, rock back, lift the toes, come forward again, push into your toes, come up, and come back down. Rise up and down. Keep rocking, push into the base of the toes, and then back on the heels. And then one more time. And back. This time when you come up, hold it. Imagine you're trying to push the ceiling right through the roof. Feel the navel lengthening and hollowing out. Thighs active, core active. And lower the heels. Release the arms. So now let's come to the front of the mat. Surya Namaskar, salutation to the sun. Bring the hands in front of the heart here. Remember the words from the Bhagavad Gita. Knowledge is better than practice. Meditation is better than knowledge. Renunciation of the fruits of action is better than meditation. Peace immediately follows such renunciation. Just move the practice with the intent of offering up all the fruits to all beings everywhere. Do the practice because it must be done as your divine duty to all. Now copy my movements. Raise your arms up over the head, arch back, fold down, bend your knees, bring your hands down to the ground. Right foot back, lower down the knees, sink down to the seat. Push the seat right in. And then into the high plank. Bring the knees down, the seat all the way back behind the heels. Now if you can, pull against the floor. Pull yourself forward into the cobra. All the way back, the seat behind the heels. Glide forward again, brush your nose to the ground. As you come forward, raise the chest, bring the head all the way back. And all the way back one more time. The seat back behind the heels. Glide forward. Tug at the floor with the arms as if you're trying to pull the floor towards you. This propels your body forward with more power and ease. Into cobra. Roll over your toes back into downward facing dog. Then the right foot steps forward to the hands. If you can't get your foot there easily, lower the back knee. And then you can use the right hand to push the foot forward to the hands. Then bring the feet together, chest on the thighs, head down. Come right up to standing, reach up and back. Hands back to the heart. Engage your buttocks and upper back. Hips forward as you arch back as you see fit. And pull the body down onto your legs again. Bend your knees, get your hands on the ground, and then the left foot back. Push back to the heel, feel stretch from the heel all the way to the ground. Into the high plank. Lower down the knees again, the seat all the way back. Glide forward between the arms. Coming up into the cobra. All the way back again. Seat behind the heels. Drag yourself forward. Move gracefully and smoothly. All the way back. Connect the movements together seamlessly. Glide forward into the cobra. Roll over your toes, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Melt the heart, allow the head to drop below the arms. Then the left foot steps forward. Sink down to the seat, make a modification again as you need to. And the feet come together, bow to the legs, chest on the thighs, head down. Come right up to standing, reach up and back. Return home, always coming back to the source of divine love. Raise your arms up. Come down, Uttanasana. Right foot back, sink down to the seat, into the plank. Bring the seat all the way back. This time, if you can, pull your hands, come right through, swing right through to upward facing dog without touching the knees ground. Of course, if that's not so good for you, you can just lower the knees down, go back into cobra the regular way, back into downward facing dog. Then the right foot steps forward to the hands, sink down to the seat. Feet come together, Uttanasana, pull the body to your legs. Come right up to standing, reach up and back. Return home, hands to the heart. And again, don't worry about the breath, just move the body in a way that feels natural and comfortable. That allows the body to move, the breath to stay uniform and even. Left foot back. Into the plank, again, bring the seat all the way back. Can either pull with your hands, swing right up into upward facing dog, or slide forward on your belly into cobra. Then downward and facing dog. Left foot steps forward to the hands, sink down to the seat. Feet come together, Uttanasana. Pull the body to your legs. Rise up to stand, reach up and back. Hands back to the heart. Rise up again. In every sense, show up in every pose. Stay present, stay engaged. Left head and chest lift, press into your hands, or you hop or walk back into chaturanga. Or right onto your belly. Again into cobra or right into upward facing dog. Now here, imagine you hit a hinge at the tops of your legs. Bend back so you're trying to fold the body in half. Look at the sky. Point your nose up as though you are a dog howling at the moon. Imitate the forms on every level, mentally, physically, and even emotionally. Then roll over your toes, downward facing dog. Bow through the chest. Try to get your chest closer to the ground. Maybe you can get the top of the head to the ground as well. You can tap it on the ground or just leave it there. Make the back look like it's slide the playground. Push the belly towards the thighs, bring the chest down, soften the shoulders, keep your arms straight. And then from here, lift the heels, bend the knees to the hands, hold your breath. Bring your feet forward, hopping or walking. Pull the body down onto your legs, Uttanasana. You come right up to standing, reach up and back. Come back home, Pranamasana. And up again. Bury your mind deep in the heart. Watch the body move with more grace and ease and steadiness. Bow down in the gesture of humbleness. Lift head and chest, press into your hands. Again, softly back, hopping or walking into chaturanga. Or on your belly, right through into cobra or Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Pull the chest open a little bit more, bring the shoulders back. Now roll over your toes, right back into downward facing dog. And this time, let's try to move between the two poses. Round your back as you make your transition. Then uncoil. Make it so you're trying to push the chest right through the rib cage. Back the other way. As you're making the transition, imagine trying to push the heart right between your shoulder blades, and then again down, sink the chest towards the ground. Again, roll off your toes, tuck your chin in, and then lift the head, open up the throat and the chest. Back the other way. Try not to close up the chest too much. Round your back and then sink your heart down. Be like a dog loyal to his master. Just try to tap into all the divine qualities of all the forms that you're representing. Copy them every which way you can. Now lift the heels, bend the knees, look to the hands. Hopping or walking forward. Pull the body against the legs, Uttanasana. Come right up to standing, reach up and back. Hands back to the heart. And up again, reach up. Go down, pull the body down onto your legs. So from here, lift the head and chest, and then see if you can rock back and forth on your heels, just like we did before when we're lifting up off your heels. And if you like here, you can stay doing that as you come forward up off your heels, shoulders over the fingertips. If you like, you can press into your hands, hold the breath. See if you can come up, lift your seat up over your wrists. Hold your breath, really push into the ground. Okay, the next time if you like, you can extend your legs back into chaturanga, through into upward facing dog, and back into downward facing dog. Now again here, lift the heels. You can do either motion by bring your seat back and then come all the way forward, shoulders over the fingertips. You can do this type of leapfrog movement like this. Or again, you can incorporate a little bit of a float. Push into your hands, grip the floor with your finger pads, the base of the wrists, and the heels, your palms. And come up. Okay. On the fourth time, see if you can land your feet close to your hands or between your hands. Pull the body down onto your legs. Come right up, arch back, hands back to the heart. Good, one more time. Raise your arms up over the head. Bow down as though in humbleness. Lift the head and chest. This time raise your right leg up, extended standing split. Full standing split, bring nose to chin, right leg comes up higher. Lift the head and chest. See if you can lift your left heel up 3 times. Push into your hands, shoulders come over the fingertips. If you want again, push into your hands. Feel as though you're being lifted up by the hip from above. And see if you can lift the left foot up off the ground. 3 times. Maybe bring your legs together up over the head if you're advanced practitioner. Back into chaturanga. Again, do according to your ability level. Into upward facing dog. Back into downward facing dog. Then the right foot steps forward to the hands. Swing the left leg up again. Extended standing split. Full standing split. Bring the nose towards the shin. Left foot comes up higher. Then from here, press into your hands, lift the head and chest. Again, see if you can lift the right heel up off the ground. As your heel comes up, your hips come over the fingertips a little bit more. Or if you want, press into your hands and see if you can incorporate a float. Hold your breath as you come up. And then the last time, if you like, bring the right leg up to meet the left. Hinge at the hips and bring your feet down. Pull the body against your legs. Come right up to standing, reach up and back. And hands back to the heart. From the heart center, inhale up to the space between the eyebrows. Exhale back down to the heart. Let go of all attachments to the results. Let go of all expectations. Just do the practice of your divine duty once again. Release the hands. Let's do some balance poses. So let's start off in tree. Start in tree. So your left foot grounds down to the base of the toes. Spread the toes like the roots of a tree. You can either bring a foot against the inseam of the leg, like so. You can go to any height you like if you can't get your heel all the way up to the root, but just not against the knee, either below or above. If you have a lotus, bring your knee up to the shoulder, and you bring a foot into the hip crease. If you want, you can take your right arm around and hold the left arm close to the elbow, or lean forward. So you can take your hand to the foot and come up with your arm, or you can bring your hand just simply at the heart center. Yana Mudra. Stay tall here. Then from here, release the foot if you have the foot. So you can take hold of the inside the heel, arm and leg come up at the same time, ballet pose. So try to keep the fingers and toes at the same height. If you're more flexible, pull the foot up closer to the shoulder. Lean a little bit to your left so you can again keep your fingers and toes on the same line. If you're having trouble doing this, you can hold underneath the underneath the calf, close to the knee. Try to straighten your leg out as much as you can. You can even stand against the wall if you're really having trouble balancing. Here, let go of the foot, try not to drop it. Keep it floating. And then bring it down. Try it on the other side now. Just keep watching the body moving as you're the witness, watching the body transform into the different shapes. You can start off again with your tree pose like this, or with your lotus. If you have a lotus, try to get your knee pointing down. If you want to take the bind, lean forward a little bit, bend your standing leg, your left leg, your right leg, sorry, and then take hold of the big toe, and then hand to your chest, in front of your chest, or straight up. You can do the same thing if you're in the regular tree. You can keep your hands at the heart center, or bring them up. Try to be steady, like a tree, offering all its energy in many ways. The shade, relief from the shade, or the fruits, or the oxygen. Gives in so many ways. Okay, now from here, into ballet pose. Take hold of the heel from the inside if you can. Bring the leg and arm up. And try to get your foot close to the shoulder if you're if you're more flexible. And look up. Every pose an offering. Now if you can, hold the breath, engage the leg muscles so that when you let go of the foot, it doesn't drop. And slowly bring it back down. Good. Now, coming to the back end of the mat, another sequence here. Bring the left foot forward, and see if you can join the hands together, interlace the fingers, open up the palm, and then dive down. Bring the head down, bend your left knee a little bit, and raise your right leg up. Toppling tree. If this is too much, you can take your fingertips onto the ground. Find you just maybe one fingertip, and then one arm, then the other. Just do it. Make the progressions according to your ability. If you can't keep your hands joined together, keep them apart. Make like an eagle flying, soar through the air, like you're skimming the surface of the ocean. Now bring the left hand down on the front of your left foot, and then turn to the right. See if you can get your right arm up, your hips and chest come over one on top of the other. If you're having trouble, you can't reach the ground easily, your body's bending, you can always come down onto your knee and stay like this. Option here, in either case, take hold of the foot, pull it back away from the seat, try to get your knee up higher. Good, and if you're again on your foot, you come more like this, try to make like a bow shape with your body. Chest and hips forward, stretch from the chin all the way to the knee. Look forward, and then here you have the option, keep your left hip over the left heel. You can take your hand to your heart, or maybe take your foot, your hand, other hand to the foot. break the pose. Left and then hand comes down, bend your left knee, and step back up. All the transitions smooth as possible. If you lose it, don't worry about it. Just continue to watch the body like you're the witness. Right foot forward, join hands if you can, and then bend your knee, land your belly on your thigh to start, and take your left leg up. Try to have your foot higher than the head. This is why I'm trying to bring your head down about the height of the knee, and so you can get your hands over your shoulders a little bit more. Again, you can separate your hands. If it's too much for your shoulders, you can take your arms out to the side. Arch the back. Push your chest forward. Look forward. Then release the hands. Drop the right hand down on the ground, front of the right foot, about a foot and a bit away. And then open up to your left. So you can get your left leg higher, bring the left arm up. Again, come onto your shin if you need to. Bind if you like. Pull the heel towards the seat. Take hold of the foot and then push it up and away from the rest of the body. Open up your left shoulder, left hip. Good. And then if you like, look forward. Hold your breath. So you can get your right hand to your heart, or reach for the foot, pull the foot close to your seat again, and then push it up, flex your foot. Pull heel in towards the seat, bring the right hand down, and step your left foot back down. Good. Now, we come to the center of the mat, facing that long edge of the mat. Fingertips in line with your elbows. Jump your feet apart. Go to your left. Virabhadrasana 2. If you're facing away from the camera, just turn around 180 degrees. You want to try to get your knee over the toes. You want to sink your seat down as much as possible. Now from here, swing the right arm up. Virabhadrasana 1, look forward. Try to square hips and shoulders to the front end of the mat. If you can't do that easily, lift the back heel up. Helps a little bit. Then now from here, push into the front foot, lean forward. See if you can straighten out the front leg. Take your hands behind your back. Press the hands against the inside of the right thigh, right at the top of the leg. Lift the head and chest, bring the head all the way back. And then from here, come forward. Pull the left hip back, pyramid pose. Bring your chest onto your front leg. If you need to, you can bend your knee. If you need to, you can bring your fingertips on the ground as well, if it's too much. Make sure the back foot is flat, so if you need to, walk your foot in a little bit. Push the left side seat back, telescope your chest forward, and bow to your leg again. Head coming towards the foot. You can stay here or bend your knee, the front knee, slide the right foot back a little bit more, roll the right thigh outwards, humble warrior. Extend the head forward, hinge at the hips again. Try to get your head to the ground beside your foot. You can lower down on the right knee if you need to as well. Use your imagination to figure out the forms that will help you to realize a pose to your extent that you can. No attachment to the results. No concern and no judgment if you can't realize what you see in your mind. Just keep trying, do your best. Then release, bring your hands down, right hand down, and then bring the right knee down. Sink down to the seat, keep your seat forward. Left hand to your left knee, right hand slides to the back foot. Curve your body, your spine, the side body. Try not to wrinkle the waist. You can stay here, or you can do, if you can bring the foot up. Try to bring it to the crook of the arm. You reach across with your left hand if you need to take your foot. And then if you can get your lean a little bit to the foot, bring your fingers right by the ear, left arm comes up. If you fold the arm down, your fingers might find one another more easily. And then push the foot away. It's a swan. If this is too much, you can do just bring your left arm up, keep your leg on the ground. Or you can turn forward. Kapiyasana. Join the hands together, rock the shoulders back, and pull the arms back. Imagine your index fingers going to the back toe. Lean away from the leg, curl the tail under. Stretch the front of the body from the toes all the way to the fingertips. Now break the pose. Bring the hands back up onto your knee. Push into your knee, lean into the knee a little bit so you can come up. And slide your left foot in. Bend the toes under on the back foot. Legs are like a box. Right arm up. Ankle the toe and the knee towards the right. So you can take your arm on the outside of the leg. So you try to get the armpits on the outside of the knee. Left hand pushes into right. Fist is sometimes easier. And push the left hand into the right so the belly comes higher than the thigh. Then roll the left shoulder all the way back. Keep pushing against the outside of the knee. Left hip moves back, head forward, and turn your chest and face up. Take a bind if you like. Pull the hips back. Use the left hand to slide your hand to guide the hand underneath the leg. Left hand comes over the back. You can use the hand, other left hand to pull the hand through. Then you can bind your hands together. You can hold the right wrist with your left hand. And then press the knee up if you can as well, up off the ground. Push through the back heel. Left shoulder moves all the way back. And from here, release. Come back onto your hands, move the inside of the foot. Lower the knee, flatten out the toes. Walk your left foot out to your left. Fall to your right so you can get your right hip and your right forearm to come down. Roll to your left, see if your left forearm can come down. If it doesn't, you can stay on your hands, maybe even both hands. Keep telescoping your chest forward, make sure your knee doesn't fall away from the shoulder. Or, you want to move your foot out, but not so much that the knee comes out of alignment with the foot. Knee and heel right on top of one another. And then if you're on forearms, keep on sinking down, feel the hips very heavy. Eventually maybe the pelvis will follow, the belly, and maybe even the chest comes right down. You know the variations, go ahead. You can take your bind, left arm comes underneath the leg from the outside. Bind your hands over your back. Be still like a lizard. Fix the gaze like a lizard. Try not to blink. Break the pose. Come back onto your hands. From here, you can slide your left foot all the way back behind your knee. Come into modified side plank. You can stay on your knee. Push your hips forward. Open up, or if you can, push into your right hand and just raise the right foot, raise the right knee up off the ground. You can keep your ankles crossed, or left foot comes on top of the right. Lift your hips. And go back onto your hands. Going to do this way. Go to the other side. Your left hand comes in front of the shoulder. Again, come onto your knee, or come into side plank. Try to have your arms in a straight line from hand to hand. And back down into downward facing dog. Left foot steps forward to the hands. Spin towards the front end of the long edge of the mat. Arms up to the side and come up. Go to the other side now. Bend into your right knee and then sink down. Again, turn around 180 degrees if you're facing away from the camera. Embody all the characteristics of a great, mighty, strong, and brave warrior. Bring your left hand forward to meet the right. Virabhadrasana 1. Allow the head to fall back, look up. So to say, I'm yours always to do your service. Grant me higher devotion. Now lean forward in front for a little bit. Push into your foot, hold your breath and come up. Adjust your feet if you need to. Back heel should be down and toes slightly, not quite 45 degrees, maybe about 30 from the line that just runs right down the center of the mat. Hands behind the back, join them together, push against the inside, right at the top of your left leg. Chest comes up. If you feel comfortable, bring your head back. And then come back up. Pyramid pose. Try to keep your hips square as you come down onto your front leg. Your belly rests on your thigh. Maybe your hands come over your head. This point, again, if you need to adjust your feet, go ahead. Try to get your left heel to stay down. Imagine your chest is going beyond your knee. Top of the head reaching for the foot. Bring your hands on the ground if you need to. Try to bend your right knee if you need to. Do whatever you need to make the pose accessible and steady. When you find the ease, the mind has more of a time to come into a calm state. Now you can go further by bending your right knee. Slide your left foot back a little bit more. You have to move to the left a little bit so that your shoulder slides the inside of the knee. And come with your forehead on the ground. Humble warrior. This pose expresses surrender. Lower the left knee down if you need to. Break the pose. Bring hands down, left hand down, and then lift your head. And then settle down into your seat. Close the front heel. Turn to your left and slide your left hand towards your back foot. Curve your side body. Push your chest up and lean away from the front leg as you keep pushing into your knee with your right hand. Now you can stay here, or if you can, bring the back foot up. Again, reach across with your right foot so you can slip it into the crook of the arm more easily. The fingers are pointing right up to the ear, right close to the ear. Right arm comes down, and then bind the hands, the fingers lock together, and push the foot away. So imagine the swan's neck doesn't have any sharp bends anywhere, smooth curves. If this is not possible, you can keep your left hand in your leg and your right hand over the head, or turn forward, hips square, Kapyasana, crescent moon shape. A beautiful expression here of offering as well. Rock the shoulders back, pull the body up out of the hips. Now, come back, bring your hands onto the front knee, push into the knee and send your body up a little bit higher, shoulders over the hips, bend the toes, underarm the back foot. Left arm up, angle the toe and the knee towards your left, dive down until the arm is sitting on the outside of the leg. Right hand into your left. And then again, push into your hands, belly comes over the thigh. Roll the right shoulder back. So your hands should be in front of the chest, not at the shoulder. If they're still at the shoulder, and your body is low underneath the leg, keep pushing the top hand into the bottom hand so the belly comes higher than the thigh. And then the center of the chest will find its thumbs more easily. The face and the chest can turn up. The body can spin with more freedom. If you want, again, take the bind, push the hips back. Use your right hand to guide the hand underneath. Right hand comes over the back. Lock your fingers together, or you can hold the right wrist as your left hand and lift the left knee up off the ground if you can. Stay steady by pushing through the back heel, keeping the back knee pressing up towards the sky. Tug on the arm to get you a little bit deeper to the twist. Right shoulder rolls back. Break the pose. Come back to the inside, hands to the inside, lower the back knee down, flatten up the toes, and then roll all the way to your left. So you can get your left hip and your left forearm to come down. Roll back to your right. Keep your knee close to the shoulder, telescope your chest forward, and imagine your hips are attracted to the ground by a strong magnetic force. And maybe the pelvis will want to come down as well, will feel heavy. And then the chest follows. Imagine you have the hand of God on the back of the heart, and just yield underneath that strong but gentle touch. You're all the way down on your chest, shoulders beside your foot. Right arm can go to the outside and underneath the knee, and then eventually over your back. Left hand goes over the back as well. Join the hands together. Now release. From here, come back onto your hands. Bend, scoot your left knee in underneath your hip. Right leg comes back into Vasisthasana again. Stay in this variation, or take your left knee up off the ground. Hold the breath. We push into your left hand. Make sure you don't fall into your shoulder and lose your neck. Keep your arm fully extended. If you want to go further, slide your right toes back alongside your left knee. Slide your left foot in a little bit so the big toe can come flat. Wild thing. If your hips and chest are up, your hip and your base of the big toe and your left hand is firmly planted, you can lift the right knee up more easily. Take the weight up. The right foot, you can take the knee eventually. If you have the reach, take the foot. Keep your hip high. Release. Come down with the right foot. And then turn back into high plank and then downward facing dog. Go to the other side now. Right hand moves more to your left, and then from here come into your Vasisthasana. You can do it again on your knee if you want to try the more advanced variation. Come into side plank. Slide your left toes back. Slide the right foot in a little bit as well. Make sure the base of the big toe is grounded. Flip your hips and chest up. Make sure you don't fall into your shoulder again. Right arm stays fully extended. And then maybe we'll take your knee up. Take the weight all the way up off your left foot so you can take your knee onto your hand. Or if you can, reach for the foot. Push into your left foot firmly. Engage the muscles below and above the knee on the standing leg. Break the pose back into downward facing dog. Breathe in. Breathe out. Right foot steps forward to the hands. Spin towards the long edge of the mat. Arms out to the side and come all the way up. Hands to the heart. From the center of the chest, inhale up to the space in the eyebrows. Exhale, breathe back down to the heart. Be like a hero. This hero sequence, so come to the mindset of the hero, always thinking of the people that they protect first, above all. Okay, so I'm going to turn this way so you can see. Turn the heels out, in a little bit, so the toes pointing out. Hands on the seat. You can bend your knees a little bit like you're riding on a horse. Push into your seat with your hands, pull down, and then from here, see if you can bring your head back a little bit, bend your knees, make your body flatter, and then slide if you like. You don't have to do this. You can slide one hand at a time down, just below the knees. Roll the thighs outwards, roll the shins inwards. You have good control and your hands are just in that position. The thumbs come between your legs a little bit more. And then once you're in the pose, see if you can push into your feet and push the hips forward and up a little bit more so your legs straighten. But keep the spiral going of the outward spiral of the thigh, inward spiral of the shins. More flexible, walk your hands down the backs of the legs more, maybe coming to the feet. If you're flexible even more, if you can see the head, the ground easily, If you feel comfortable to do so, bring your right arm over your head, take your head down, and then your left hand, Urdhva Dhanurasana. Now coming back, if you're in Urdhva Dhanurasana, one hand at a time, place one hand on the back knee, push the legs forward, so just push the knees forward, and then the other hand. And from here, one at a time, palm your way up the legs, one higher than the other, push into your seat, pull down, and come back up. Arms out to the side, hinge at the hips. If you like, take your hands behind the back, interlace the fingers. Open up the palms, lift up the chest, bring the head back, hinge forward. You can also take hold of opposite elbows if you like, and see if you can bring your forehead down on the ground. You can eventually bring your elbows up higher, or if you have your hands joined, try to bring your hands to the ground in front of your head. Try to see if you can get your head down between your feet. If it's too much for your shoulders to do either of those, just take them to the outside of the legs, so you might be able to get your fingers underneath your edges of the feet. Pull the body right in between your legs. Breathe in, breathe out. Option is to stay here or come into tripod headstand. Bring your hands down on the ground, arms are perpendicular, the arms form an L shape, your fingers a little bit behind your heels. Now from here, push into your hands, hold your breath, so you can straddle your legs up. Those of you again who are comfortable with that, to do so, go ahead. And come back down slowly. If you're up, engage your core more as your feet come close to the ground, so that you can land your feet same place, right beside your head. Inhale, head and chest lift, arms up to the side, and press your way back up. One more easy Trikonasana. Adjust your feet so the toes are pointing out. Push into your seat. Again, bend your knees as much as you need to. Then, if you feel comfortable, walk hands down just below the knees. Roll the thighs over, twirl the shins inwards. And then push your hips up and forward. Straighten out the legs. Go further as you see fit. Then make your way up again. Prepare to come back up. Walk your hands up the legs if they're on the knees. Push into your seat, pull down at the same time. Come all the way up. Arms out to the side. Jump your feet together. Stand tall in Tadasana like a mountain. From the base of the spine, imagine that it's the base of the mountain. Inhale up, right up to the crown, which is like the summit of the mountain. Exhale back down to the base. Remain unshakable, unmovable in your devotion to the practice and devotion to serve all beings. Now, come down onto your knees. From here, now is a chance to do headstand again if you did it before in Prasarita Padottanasana, or you can try it now for the first time, or modifications. If you know how to get into headstand, however, go ahead and do whichever variation you like. Once you find the pose, bring your mind into stillness, bring your focus to the center of the forehead again. Otherwise, you can try to do any of these. You can start off by, if you're very uncomfortable coming up too high, you can just bring your forehead in front of your knees and lift your seat up. Try to get your seat over your knees, and you'll feel a stretch in the back of the neck. If it's too much, again, you just bring your head forward a little bit, so you're on top of the head. If you want, you can bring your fingers on the outside of the mat, in line with the backs of the knees, and then lift the seat, lift the knees up off the ground, walk your feet closer, bring one leg all the way back. The foot is hanging close to your seat behind you.
And you can just press up off the foot, of the heel, come up and down, just like we did in the warm-up exercises. If you feel comfortable at some point, push into the fingertips, hold the breath, and just pull your toes up off the ground. Just bend your toes back. So never jump so forcefully that you land all the way on your back. So just always control. Wait until you feel your more pressure on your head. You can, your hips are over your shoulders. This is when you feel more pressure on the head. Press into your fingertips and then just pull your toes up and back. Eventually, you can push through the back foot as well, and your feet will end up hovering about the height of the hips. If it's too much still pressure on the head, do it on forearms. Those who are in headstand, still stay. You can do it until come into lotus if you like. Just try to stay a little bit longer as you get more comfortable with the pose. Otherwise, take hold of opposite elbows here, underneath your shoulders, and then move your hands forward, interlace them. Don't move the elbows, however. Place your head between your hands, so the hands are forming a helmet for the back of the head. Walk your feet towards your elbows. Again, you can come up and down, up off both heels at the same time and come down. Again, when your hips come over your shoulders, you'll feel more pressure on your head. And then take your left one foot back behind you. Again, foot close to the seat as much as possible, so that if your legs are raised, it's a little bit more difficult to find a balance. Keep your leg very bent, your feet engaged by flexing your feet. And then just pull your toes away from the ground. Even just tap them on the ground. Just dance a little bit off the toes. You can do this on the wall even. So you want to sit with your feet against the wall and imagine my foot in front of me is against the wall, and then you just pull the other foot back behind you and you just try to pull your toes away from the wall every once in a while. Always with control. Don't push too hard, you land on your back possibly. And then come back down slowly. Come down on your seat on your heels, child's pose, arms extended in front. Breathe in, breathe out, relax. And roll up. So even if you fall on your back, it takes away some of the fear for the next time you do it. So it's almost good to sometimes fall to get to the experience of what it's like. It's really not such a big deal, but that's why you keep your feet close to your body, so that if you do fall, you're already close to the ground. Okay, so just demonstrate, just again, went a little bit too far. That's all that really happens. Okay, so you just tuck your chin and you roll with it. Try not to stiffen up the neck, just relax into it and just fall. Keep your feet close. If your legs are very high, you'll land yourself more heavily. Okay, so always just try to visualize yourself moving gracefully and fluidly and with control, and then this will translate into your physical movements. Now let's try shoulder stand. Come to the front of the mat. Tuck your chin in. Push into your arms and bring your feet back behind your head. And so you can move your hands a little bit closer, join them together even. So your elbows come close together, and then bring your hands onto your back. Fingers facing up towards the seat, towards the sky. If it's too much, you can keep your knees close to your shoulders, or it's easier to come up one leg at a time. If you want to come up, bring one leg up. Really stretch through the toes, push your hips forward, push your chest towards the chin, and then the other leg comes up. Keep your feet together, or come into lotus if you have one. This helps to bring the mind into one pointedness more easily. Try to have your knees higher than the shoulders. If you have right on your tops of your shoulders, you can take your hands to your thighs, whether you're in lotus or your legs are straight. Bring your attention to the space between your eyebrows. Nothing to do, nowhere to go but deeper within. Go Go beyond the body, the mind, and the emotions. These are not you, not the real self. Through the practice, we learn to lose the attachment to the body, and learn to remove the identification with the body, the mind, and the emotions too much. Now from here, if you have a lotus, you can go into Pindasana. If you know that variation, you bring your thighs against your body. If you can wrap your arms around the outside of the legs, join your hands just underneath the seat. If you're in plow pose, bring your feet down slowly. Try not to allow the feet to come down heavily behind your head. You can also, if your feet don't come all the way, bring your hands, keep your hands on the back, or just gently push into your backs until the feet come down. No forcing, no yourself to a place where you come into a place of pain or distress or anxiety. This is not what you want to transmit. You can alternatively lower the knees right down beside your head, your thighs on your belly. Your shoulders might eventually come all the way down to the knees. Your knees will come eventually down to your shoulders, maybe a little bit towards the ground. Right. Okay, I'm ready to come out. Hands on the ground behind the back. From here, start to slide your legs down, keep them close to the body. You're rolling down like one vertebra at a time. Feeling the spine rolling back down. The hands are behind the back, your thumbs and the index fingers tips touching. Once your seat lands on your hands, keep bringing your legs down until they're about halfway down, 45 degrees. And then push into your arms, lift your back up off the ground. Your body looks like a check mark here. Now move your elbows in a little bit closer. Push your chest up, your shoulders back. Top head's the ground. If it's too much, you can bring your legs down. If you want, you can go into flying fish. Take your hands out from underneath. The palms touching one another and the arms at the same angle as your legs. Now breathe very fast nose like a sniffing dog. Resume normal breathing, but drop, if your legs are down, drop your feet right down in front of your seat, edges of the feet line in line with your hips. Keep the top of the head there. If your legs are extended, if you want to try Urdhva Dhanurasana, you pull the feet in at this point close to your seat. Fingertips now, everybody, beside your head. Equal distance apart. Lift your seat and slide your head back a little bit closer to your feet. And then turn your hands around, the fingers facing a little bit to the outsides, and the fingers facing away from you. You can stay here, or take a hot breath in and lift your head up off the ground. Lift the heels up as well if you like. And then play in the pose a little bit. Stretch your body. If this is too much, you do bridge pose. You just bring the back of the head resting on the mat, so your shoulders, you lift your seat only. So it looks like this. Stay in Urdhva Dhanurasana if you're in that pose. If you're doing the bridge, your head and shoulders stay on the ground and you lift your hips and try to get your chest towards your chin. Your chest will look like a wall eventually. Alright? Those of you in Urdhva Dhanurasana, if you like. So you can take the one right hand up off the ground to your thigh. Back down. Push into your right hand now. Bring the left hand to your left thigh. And down. Always according to your comfort level and your ability. Bring the right leg up. And down. And your left breath here. Those you want can come into Chakrasana. Come down on one forearm and then the other forearm. Push your chest up and forward again in front of your arms. You can bring your palms together if you like. Those who are more flexy and feel comfortable to do so, bring your legs together, your feet together, and straighten your legs. Push into your toes. Then, depending where you are, you can bring your head down and then come out of the pose. So if you're in Chakrasana, bring your hands beside your head and lower yourself down. Otherwise, just lower yourself down. And from here, breathe in, breathe out, release all fatigue. Imagine you're fainting. Now, lift up to seated position, any which you like, arms over the head, or roll onto your side. Make your way up. Paschimottanasana. If you need to, you can bend your knees a little bit. Raise your arms up, hinge forward the hips. Land your belly on your thigh, tickle the outer edge of the feet. Inhale, push the chest forward towards the knees as you're trying to get your chest beyond your knees. Exhale, pull more weight into your legs. Of course, if you can get your legs straight on the ground already, don't waste your time, as Dharmaji says, go right into it. Keep your body with your legs. All the attention at the base of the spine. Keep stretching the head forward as though you're trying to touch the head to the top of the front of the feet. Feel all the blood rushing to the base of the spine where your attention is. Imagine that as the energy trying to release up. It will only release one if you're in constant adherence to the ethical rules. So you can imagine you have a gate to the root of the spine, and it only opens up when it's ready to, when you're spiritually ready to. And coming back up from here, tortoise pose or modification. Bring your feet beyond the edges of the mat. Slide your arms underneath. Take hold of the outer edge of the feet, your elbows maybe on the ground, and see if you can get your head down, forehead to the ground. If your shoulders are lower than the knees, you can do this easily. You can see if you can bring your hands beside your hips, fingers facing back. Your heels might want to come in a little bit closer, so just a little bit widen the shoulders. And then you'll be able to go down, slide your heels forward. The weight to the legs and the arms will allow yourself to go down a little bit more. Your knees are close to the shoulders, not closer to the shoulders than they are to the elbows. If your elbows are free, your arms are free, you can join your hands over your back. Prolong your inhales and exhales. The tortoise lives very long because it has a very long breath cycle. If you have a finite number of breaths, every being does, to go through in a lifetime, you want to lengthen those breath cycles as long as you can, and this promotes longevity of life. Now from here, release, come back up. All right, now from here, come into a squat. Your toes, your feet are spread so you can get your heels on the ground. Wrists come between your elbows, shoulders back. Now from here, slide the left shoulder in a little bit. Lift your seat, lean forward so that your left arm can go all the way underneath the left leg, onto your back. Right hand forms a fist. Capture your left hand if you can. And just push into your feet, try to raise your right hip up, try to get your right hip up so your right leg straightens. Eventually your left leg can straighten as well. Push with the back of the arm into the inner thigh. Now from here, if you can come up, walk your feet closer together, lift your left heel, push into your right foot, take a half breath in, hold your breath, and push your way up. Once you're up, you can see if you can straighten your leg. Lean a little bit to the right. Bend your knee. Now if you couldn't do this, you can maybe lean forward and take your hand, your arm in front of your knee, your hand on your seat, if you can't get your hands to bind all the way. So this is an option here, like this. Release the leg. Come back down. Now come back into squat. Try it on the other side. Slide the right shoulder in, see inside the knee, lift the seat just a little bit, lean forward so your right arm can come all the way underneath the leg. Left hand forms a fist, catch with your right hand, and then lift your left side of the seat up. Head close to the ground to start. Push the right shoulder, back shoulder against the leg. Then if you like, make your way to bird of paradise. Slide your right foot in a little bit, push into your left foot. You need to push against the leg with the right arm, the bound leg. And then lift up. Try not to do too slow. Come up smoothly. Hold your breath as you do it. Then maybe you can take your leg up or do the modification, which is you can come up and see if you can get your arm around your leg, hands on the seat, or join your hands eventually. And then from here, release the foot down. Okay, so now from here, hinge at the seat, bring your hands down, lower the knees down. Arch the back here, raise your right leg up, tiger. You can come onto forms as well. Stretch the leg, try to get your right leg nice and straight. If you want, you can bend your knee, take your hand around, hold the foot, your left hand holds the right foot, and pull it up. If you're more flexible, you can do it with your right hand. So you take your foot out to the side, come onto your left hand, take the foot, thumb pressing the base of the toes, other fingers on the outside of the foot. Bring your left elbow, right elbow high over your shoulder so you can pull it forward without straining your shoulder. And see if you can lift your leg up higher. And then release, bring the foot close to your head. If you have the foot, and then release. Try it on the other side. You can start on the forearms again. Raise the left leg up. Try not to crunch the lower back. Try not to bend the knee. Beautiful, graceful lines like the tail of a tiger. If you want, bend your left leg, reach around with your right hand and take the foot up. Push the foot up as high as you can. You can do this from your hand as well. Or the other variation with your over the head. Take the foot, pull it up high so that your shoulders, elbows are higher than the shoulder. And then you just turn the elbow forward so that you're not twisting the shoulder in a weird way. And lift up. You can do this as a strap as well. Move according to your condition. Be mindful in your practice so you don't hurt others through your actions. Just keep thinking in your mind how you're feeling to an extent affecting all beings. Now break the pose, pull the foot close to your head, and release. Come back onto your seat. Bring your legs around to the front.
Good. Now from here, right leg goes over to the other side, the left shin. Or if you want the full Ardha Matsyendrasana, you fold the left leg under so that, but make sure you're not sitting on your foot. Both sides of the seat are grounded. Left arm up. Bring your arm against the thigh. You can take your hand down to the heel if you got this variation. Or other variations if you know them. Take a bind if you like. Inhale, lift through the chest. Exhale, push the knee away from your left, further away from the left edge of the body. Beyond the edge of the body, and then turn to your right. Keep your back straight. If you're doing the one with your leg extended, make sure you don't lean back. Keep your hand right against the back. Change the other side. With the leg extended or folded. Right arm up. Go to your left. Slowly break the pose, make your way down onto your back for Shavasana. Lie down for a few moments. Once you're down on the back, just try to release as much tension as possible. Take a deep breath in. Imagine you're drawing all the tension from wherever it resides in the body, wherever you feel a tightness or restriction. And bring it all to the center. Exhale, just let it drop right out of the body. So you're funneling it all out. Draining the body of it. Inhale again. Gather up all the physical tension in the body, any tightness, any feeling of restriction, limitations. Exhale, just send it right out. Drop it out of the body. Feel so you dropped a heavy load right out. Then inhale, bring in all the negative feelings or negative emotions, negative thoughts or experiences that are taking away from your contentment in some way, that are feeling heavy on your heart or your mind. Exhale, allow them to just come to the center and then funnel them right out of the body. Empty yourself of all that. And then feel light, feel as though you're an empty vessel, ready to receive. Now on the inhale, imagine streams of light and love, everything you need, everything you desire to feel, to help you to feel fulfilled and grounded and content. Bring it all into you. Direct it right to the spiritual heart again. As you exhale, imagine going to all beings, for that divine essence that resides in the spiritual heart is in the heart of all beings as well. Inhale again. Draw on everything that you need, which is in effect everything that everyone needs and wants, likely. Bring it all to the spiritual heart, to God. Make it an offering to God. And as you exhale, imagine that just goes out to all beings. For it automatically does, as God is present in all beings. One more time. Inhale. Pull in the best of the best of the universe, all the benefits of the practice. Send it all to the spiritual heart. Exhale, imagine going to all beings everywhere. Not just your friends and families, those of whom are easy to love, all beings, all animals, all life. For they're all part of this divine soul, the universal soul that is everywhere. Now keep in that mindset that you're always one with all beings. Never any separation. God is always within, so all beings are within. So now prepare to come back to day-to-day life. Prepare to sit. Come back up slowly and gracefully and mindfully. Back to seated position. Sit tall and straight. We'll close our practice with Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Instill the peace within, send it out to all beings everywhere. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Be receptive to the grace of God. All is within. Namaste. Thank you so much for coming. Have a wonderful day. Next week, the practice will be on Sunday, likely because I have an immersion on Saturday, so I will not be able to teach on Saturday. So we'll see you next Sunday, hopefully. Much love.